As a business owner, you didn't start your business to stay stuck. More than likely, you had a vision. Maybe it was for more income, more time, more control of your life. And for a while, man, things were just moving. You built a solid foundation, a solid business. But now, do you feel like you've hit a proverbial ceiling or a figurative ceiling? There's a glass ceiling over your head and you just can't seem to break through it. No matter how hard you work, you can't move the needle. You can't break through the ceiling. You've tried to hire people, but they don't take enough off your plate. You're like, dude, I'm gonna market more, but the leads just are not very good. And the idea, candidly, for you to step away from your business from the day to day, yeah, that feels like it's never gonna happen. It feels impossible because why? Well, clients expect you, not your team, definitely not your systems. They want you. Your name's on the door. You're the grand poobah. It is you. So what do? As business owners, we tell ourselves lies. We say, well, this is how it has to be. Oh, I guess this is what running a business looks like. But what if it's not true? What if the very thing that's keeping us stuck isn't the economy, the competition, or perhaps even our business model, but it's something that's happened in our mind? Today, we're going to talk about this very interesting topic of learned helplessness. Learned helplessness, especially for us as business owners. It's an invisible mental trap that keeps us stuck at a certain level. Maybe it's the same revenue. Maybe it's repeating the same cycle. Maybe it feels like you're in Groundhog Day. But for us, more importantly, we've got to talk about how do we identify learned helplessness and how do we break through? One of my favorite quotes of all time, and those of you who've been around a while, you've heard me say this: if you think you can or think you can't, you're right. Henry Ford made that statement, and now it seems like I say it every day. So I've introduced two words to you: learned helplessness. But where did learned helplessness come from? It was first discovered by psychologists Martin Seligman and Stephen Mayer. And they did this amazing experiment that perhaps you've seen in real life. They put some dogs in cages and then exposed the dogs to some electric shock. Some had the ability to escape the cages and some didn't. Because of the electricity, the dogs learned that every time they get near the edge of the cage, it would shock them. And so even though they could escape, they didn't. In fact, they even pulled the cages away and the dogs still refused to escape. We have this technology nowadays called the invisible fence. It's actually located here in Knoxville, Tennessee, where this fence company comes from. And what they do is they go into your yard or into your lot or wherever, and they bury this small low voltage electrical wire where you want to create an invisible fence. And they put a collar on the dog. And as the dog approaches the fence, there may be a vibration the dog feels on the collar or a beeping. But as they get nearer and nearer to the fence, there's some electricity that hits the dog. And ultimately it tells them, uh-oh, I'm getting too close, back up. You're like, Goodbread, that's amazing information, but what does that have to do with me? Well, the reality is, as a business owner, we experience the same phenomenon. It works this way though. We try to delegate, but it backfires. And so now we assume that no one else can do the work as well as us. Or we tried marketing and it didn't bring in the quality clients. So now we assume marketing doesn't work for our business. You see, learned helplessness isn't conscious. It's a gradual process, almost like waves hitting against a rock over time. It just gradually happens. Like we don't wake up one day and decide that scaling a business isn't possible. We first start out by avoiding things that we've failed at in the past. And even when we see new opportunities present themselves, we still have this mirror that we look in of our past failures. There's one financial advisor that I've been coaching for some time now, and he's had 3 different assistants. Each time they either quit, they messed things up, they created more work, and ultimately he just stopped trying. He convinced himself this: it's just easier if I do it myself. But when we look deeply into the root cause of the problem, it wasn't a hiring issue. It was how he was hiring. He really had not set up clear expectations, job descriptions. He didn't train them properly. He didn't help them or give them guidance on how to create processes. And then once we deployed our hiring process into his company, he found an A player who literally took 15 hours per week off his plate. But for years, he just assumed this is how it is. That is learned helplessness. And that's the glass ceiling that we look at. We see this and we say we're stuck in our business. We don't know how to get through it. Most of the time, learned helplessness has created that glass ceiling. We're going to dive a little deeper before I get into the 7 points, because these 7 points, once you understand the context, man, they're so easy to deploy and break through. See, with learned helplessness as a business owner, once we believe something isn't possible at all, hey, we can't do that, we just stop trying. Why? Because we're human beings. We love efficiency. Our mind likes to work efficiently. And so when we stop trying, what we've ultimately done is we've created a self-fulfilling prophecy. Learned helplessness has certain assumptions with it that we believe. We bite it hook, line, and sinker. We say things to ourselves like, I have to be involved in everything or else it's going to fall apart. Or as I mentioned earlier, for one gentleman, marketing doesn't work for my business. Or I love this one. Clients won't pay a higher fee. No, they won't pay a higher fee. I won't even talk about it. Learned helplessness. Or I don't have time to step back and work on my company. Learned helplessness. See, each of these beliefs, because we're telling to ourselves, they turn a business structure into proving those beliefs. If you refuse to delegate, the business remains dependent upon you. Thus, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you don't raise your prices, you're going to continue to attract the price-sensitive client. If you stay reactive, you'll never have time to work on the business. I was intrigued as I was studying through this, specifically as we've been coaching a lot of successful business owners to rapidly scale their company. And many of them are trying to reach decamillionaire status. And I'm excited to be on this journey with them. And as I was studying this concept of learned helplessness, because I'm seeing it popped up with so many successful business. I'm talking about studs of business owners. And I had the privilege to walk alongside them with our membership programs. But as I was studying this, I found some interesting research done by Carol Dweck. D-W-E-C-K. And her research shows what I would call grandma's wisdom, but the details of it was phenomenal to me and fascinating. She shows that our beliefs directly impact our behavior. Now we would say, duh, that makes sense. But she went a little deeper and she summarized it this way. Individuals with a fixed mindset, those who believe their abilities and their circumstances are set in stone, they actively avoid challenges because of their fear of failure. How many times have we as business owners thought about that? We're going to fail, therefore we're not going to deal with it. On the other hand, the people who had a growth mindset, those who they believe their abilities can improve with effort. In other words, it's going to be hard, but we can do this. They were more likely to take risk. They were able to adapt and ultimately succeed. So how does this apply to us as business owners? If you believe you can't scale, you won't take the necessary actions to make it happen. If you believe that you can never reach a decamillionaire status, then you're going to be stuck at the level you're at. You're never going to achieve that. So how do we break through this? We have a glass ceiling of it, and it could be revenue, it could be team, it could be time, it could be a number of different things. How do we bust through that glass ceiling? I submit to you there are 7 steps. And if you follow these steps, I don't see how there's a ceiling over any of us. We could actually achieve far greater than we might ever imagine. So here we go. Step number 1, you have to get a small, meaningful win. A small, meaningful win is a must. Oftentimes, we as business owners, we like to focus on that big home run, that big leap, that big activity. But friends, we know this. It's the small steps, the small, consistent steps that provide undeniable success. See, when we take that big leap, and sometimes they're needed, but when we take that big leap, it's a 50-50 shot. But when we move forward in small, easy daily wins, brother, we change the outcome. Years ago, I was working with an advisor who was convinced that his clients would not pay higher fees. And I said, let's just test it with one new client. So we built the structure up, built the process, put the framework around it. The one new client accepted the higher fee ratio. It wasn't a tire kicker, a fee-sensitive individual. It was exactly the client that the advisor wanted. What ultimately happened was that one win was the catalyst for them increasing revenue across all clients. They went in and raised fees for everybody. Positive results. It was very positive, but it was that one small, meaningful win. So that's step number 1. Step number 2 is stop reacting, start leading. So many of us as business owners, We don't lead. We don't build systems or create accountability. We walk in and we react. How do I know? Because I ask whenever we start coaching people, show me your calendar. And when I see their calendar, I can know how their week is going to be. Instead of reacting, let's create repeatable processes in any area causing frustrations. Like the advisor before, he had a hard time hiring somebody. We created a process that would yield the results he wanted. And that process eliminated the frustration. So number 2 is start leading, stop reacting. Number 3, we got to, as business owners, reframe failure as data, not as defeat. So many times we face unmountable circumstances. We say we're going to do something and then instantly there's a wall in front of us. And many times we fail. It's hard being a business owner. And it's like we fail 100 times and we make one step. We take 400 steps backwards and make another one forward. That's the reality. But what if we changed our paradigm, the way we look at things? Instead of a failure as defeat, we looked at it as a feedback loop. Just give me some data. Give me some data. I made a presentation this last week that I really didn't like. Presented to a group of very affluent individuals, and it was a 4-hour presentation, and I did not like it. Now, I could consider that a failure, but instead I took the things which the feedback they gave me, and I'm going to improve my presentation style. But I also took that and said, okay, we've been there, done that. Let's not focus here. Let's shift our focus slightly. And we're getting honed in. That's the same way that we have to reframe failure as data. Now I have a tendency to tell business owners, fail fast, fail often, fail forward. Fail fast. You're going to fail. May as well get out of the way. Fail often. If you're not failing on a daily basis, you're not trying hard enough. And fail forward. Every time we fail, it's an opportunity for us to start again and move forward. And it happens in business no matter what area of business you're in, no matter how developed your company is. I was presenting last week to a CEO of a company of a $1.5 billion valued firm. It's a huge firm. And we were talking, I said, how often do you fail? He goes, daily. We just got to keep failing forward. So let's reframe our failure as data. Man, as a business owner, that can help us. Number 4 is build a system that eliminates being overwhelmed. Decision fatigue is real. It's real, friends. And as a business owner, if you don't have systems and processes in place that create maximum efficiency for you, then you're exhausted just trying to keep mentally about what all's happening in your company. I remember in my own firm, as we were scaling it for that 8-figure exit, it was amazing to watch just the stress coming off my plate as a team was actively working to create systems and processes that allowed me to actually focus on what I was good at. So we did things like we systematized hiring, onboarding, client management, finances, billing. We systematized compliance. We systematized the onboarding of new clients. We systematized marketing, the sales process. Everything had a system. And what it allowed for me personally to experience 4 months off per year. Just play. But I didn't work 80 hours a week after that. It became actually out of life. It's unbelievable. How about you and your company? Have you thought about building systems that eliminates your belief or your feeling of being overwhelmed? It works. All right, number 5. The 5th thing you can do to break through the proverbial ceiling is change your environment. The people that you associate with at your level of your company as an owner will actually set the trajectory of your company. Recently, I changed business coaches. I'm creating a company that I've never created before. I've never created a coaching company that works on a membership to help business owners rapidly scale their companies. I've always dealt with it on a one-to-one consultation approach. I've never dealt with it from a coaching perspective, much less this idea of getting on stage and talking with business owners and writing books at the New York Times bestsellers level. Never done that before. So what I had to do is I changed my environment. I found a coach who had personally accomplished what I wanted to accomplish and is successful at training others on how to accomplish what I want to accomplish. So double positives there. And by changing my environment, I'm now seeing to where there is so much opportunity for me because I'm seeing a different layer of a peer group. May I challenge you that it could be that a simple change in your peer group will actually allow you to open up syntaxes and allow you to start scaling and delegating successfully. Man, our mastermind groups are made specifically for successful business owners. who are trying to reach decamillionaire status. If that's you, may I challenge you to schedule a free strategy call with one of our strategists, and they can talk about your struggles, your pain points, and ultimately if our team can help you accomplish your goal. But number 5 is you've got to change your environment. Number 6 is you've got to challenge your own assumptions. May I ask you to do this literally, pull off the road, okay? I mean, this is powerful here. Write down right now, right this very second. Don't wait, do it now. Write down your biggest limitation you believe is holding back your business. Then I want you to ask yourself the question, after you've identified that big limitation, is that actually the limitation, or is it just something I've come to accept? See, the reality for many of us is we're convinced in this limitation because of back analysis. This one client, I swear it was going to be the death of me. I was convinced that I'm going to die trying to help this client reach their goals. He was convinced that his marketing plan doesn't work. I mean, he said it, boom, Justin, my marketing plan doesn't work. There's no need of marketing. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. And when we went back for years he didn't market. We went back and we dissected what actually they did. And we were able to analyze 2 small problems. I'm like, dude, here's your problem in your marketing plan. Why didn't at that point, it didn't matter to place blame or not. But what we saw was that one particular lead source was outperforming all others. He just never focused on it. So he quit everything. We went back, we revitalized, we optimized, and we moved forward. And guess what? 6 months later, man, Justin, I wish marketing was always this easy. I can't keep up with the demand. I got more customers coming in than I've ever thought was possible. How in the world? Because we challenged his assumptions. He had the wrong data point. And so therefore he had created a syntax in his mind that says, hey, marketing doesn't work. So may I challenge you? What is your biggest limitation? Hopefully you wrote it down. Then ask yourself the question, is this actually true? Or is it just something that I've come to accept? Dan Martell, I found a lot of reading his book, and I was listening to his podcast recently. I like the way he presents things really short. He makes this statement. He said, if I were to take over your company today, what is the one thing I need to do today that you're not doing? Very powerful question. It's around this whole idea of limitation. Ultimately, he's dealing with this mindset here of learned helplessness, but it's a powerful question that we can think about as business owners. And then number 7, stop waiting. Take one positive action today. Take an action today that will move your business forward. Now, here's the action you have to do. It needs to be an uncomfortable action. You need to put yourself to the next level. You need to get out of your comfort zone. I'm going to challenge you today. Take one uncomfortable action. You know you should do it anyways. Well, the old saying says, water takes a path of least resistance. Don't be that. Find one thing that you can change today. May I give you a few recommendations? First thing you might change is, as a business owner, as you're wrapping your day up, take your phone out and dictate your day. Use like an AI software like Claude or ChatGPT or something, and just dictate down what you did today and ask them to summarize it for you in bullet points. After you summarize it in bullet point, look at it, and which action did you take today? It's like, I don't want to ever do that again. Start there. Start with that action that you don't like, and let's delegate it out to somebody and allow them the authority to create a system to take it off your plate. That's what I would do. So friends, there you have it. There's 7 actions that you can take to break through this proverbial ceiling, to unlearn this learned helplessness. The reality is that we have 2 choices. Every one of us, we have 2 choices. We can keep repeating the same cycle, or we can challenge the very thing that's been holding us back. Now, as a business owner, I have to believe that you're going to roll your sleeves up and you're going to charge hell with a water pistol. I have to believe that. If you say, Goodbread, man, this all sounds good, but I don't know where to start. I literally am stuck. Man, if that's you, let's talk. It is possible for you to break through the glass ceiling. It is possible for you to build a business that runs without you. It is possible for you to reach decamillionaire status. It is possible for you to achieve your wildest dreams. But just perhaps you need somebody like I do beside me, challenging and pushing me and having me look for the pitfalls that they've already messed up on and helping us scale in a rapid time fashion. If that's you, hey, book a free strategy call. There'll be a link below in the show notes. Look, your business doesn't have to run you. May I challenge you? Take the first step today. Take the first step today and let's change your business and change your life for the rest of your life. Till next time, friends, y'all go out and make it a great day.